thanks everyone for being here. We're here to introduce a new free tool that Verasight built to make survey programming so much easier called Doc2Survey. My name's Tyler, and I lead growth at Verasight, and this is Joey. He's our VP of data science. And Joey's here to talk to you about why we built Doc2Survey, how it works, and then give an awesome live demo of the tool so you can see it in action. So with that said, Joey, why don't you get us started by talking a little bit about why Verasight built Doc2Survey?
Sure. Survey researchers spend hours manually building and rebuilding their questionnaires inside survey platforms like Qualtrics. It's a tedious process where researchers have to create questionnaire items one by one, setting up the question prompt, response options, and then all of the things that make the survey work. Basically all the internal machinery like skip logic, randomization, a lot of branching terminations. It's manual and also error prone, and it doesn't scale very well. So our goal with Doc2Survey was to greatly reduce the amount of manual effort that survey researchers have to spend creating, building, iterating on, and then checking all of the surveys that they build inside of platforms like Qualtrics. So what we end up with is an app that is directly on our website, free to use, where you can upload a Word document. We've found in our own experience that survey researchers often have a Word document that may not be perfectly structured or formatted. It may have some like notes to the researchers or to the programmers. It may not always follow an extremely consistent logic, but it is structured enough that an LLM, a large language model, can read and infer what generally should happen. What's a question versus what's a response option? Words like randomization are obvious and easy to pick up. And so the app on our platform, Doc2Survey, will look at all this, run it through several stages that do a lot of this manual work and then check for its own errors, and then return a file that is ready to upload to one of the survey platforms so that researchers can then test and verify, which you should always do, but hopefully with very little remaining manual effort.
Amazing. Amazing. Well, thanks for talking us through that, Joey. We're really excited that Doc2Survey is out there in the wild, and really excited for Verasight users to get their hands on it. One thing to keep in mind for everyone out there is this tool is free. You don't have to use other Verasight products to use it. So anyone can go and sign up. And just to give you a little bit of a sense of how it actually works, we're going to have Joey walk through a live demo of Doc2Survey right now. So Joey, why don't you go ahead and get us started with a live demo?
Sure. We'll use an example survey here. I'll show us uploading the survey to Doc2Survey, and then we can take a look at the results. Okay, so what I'm showing on the screen now is the user interface to Doc2Survey, and then I'm just going to grab an example Word document that shows how survey questions often look when we make them ourselves or when we get them from our customers. Your Word document in practice doesn't have to follow a rigid format that looks exactly like this example, but this is one way you can format your Word doc, and it's a common way that we see survey items and survey flow represented in a Word document. So that's why I'm using this example. So we might have a block here, and these would be like screener questions. This is a docx Word doc file. And, we can ask about, some sort of sociodemographics like employment. If someone is not employed full-time, they may be out of the universe for this survey. So we want to terminate them here. And often we found in practice that people will put little annotations in their response options like term. That's fine. Doc2Survey can handle that. It will know to terminate this response if someone answers, or terminate this respondent, the survey flow, if the respondent answers no to this. We can ask some other stuff. We can have redirect links that we sort of paste in here, and then another block of different kinds of questions. There are many question types on a platform like Qualtrics, and Doc2Survey will try to intelligently parse them into the right question type. So we know this should be a multiple choice question, but I also want to include some conditional questions that have display logic. If you selected AWS in Q5, then we display Q8, that kind of thing. We can have some open-ended text entry items with some descriptive text and instructions that shouldn't be a question at all. It should just be text displayed to the respondent. Notably, the notes to myself or to other researchers in this Word doc should be parsed out, whereas the words that are displayed to the survey taker, Doc2Survey should intelligently know to put those in. And then we'll try other kinds of question items like matrix or Likert grid style items, rank order, and a slider question. So I'm just going to drop this docx file directly in. I'm going to give it a name and press upload and program. And that's all for now. This can take a few minutes. So I'm going to go do something else for a few minutes while some notifications pop up here like AI analyzing questions. Okay, so after a few minutes, you'll see a notification like this: conversion completed successfully. Great, I can download my results. I'm just going to click this to download a Qualtrics QSF file. I'm also going to hop over to Qualtrics and click create a project from scratch and give it a name in Qualtrics. And here I'm going to select import a QSF file. And here's where I'm going to grab the file off of my computer that I just downloaded. This is that QSF file that we just created with Doc2Survey. I'm going to click Create Project, and here are my results.
Nice.
So I have my employment screener along with some of these other blocks with other question types that we've described. We have the display logic that was in my Word doc, which conditionally shows some questions, along with other kinds of question types like free text entry. This is basically how the whole thing works, and hopefully will save you time manually programming a survey. If this were a real survey, I would go through and still test this. You can preview your survey using Doc2 or just using Qualtrics itself, make changes within the app. But this has hopefully gotten me most of the way there.
Amazing. Amazing. I can see how this would save researchers a ton of time. So yeah, thanks so much for walking us through the flow, Joey. Like I mentioned earlier, Doc2Survey is totally free to use. And so we'd encourage all of you out there to go sign up and try it out. To sign up and use Doc2Survey, you can go to verasight.io/doc2survey. So give it a try and let us know what you think.